solidarity with other nations while you expand your military bases in different parts of the world, including in Latin America. This situation cannot continue. It is all the more impossible to advance expansionist and inhuman policies on the basis of a militaristic logic. The logic of coercion and intimidation will produce dire consequences, exacerbating the present global problems. It is not acceptable that the military budget of some governments exceeds far larger those of the entire countries of the world. There are those who export billions of dollars of arms annually, stockpile chemical and biological weapons, as well as nuclear weapons, establish military bases or have military presence in other countries while accusing others of militarism, and mobilize all their resources in the world to impede the scientific and technological progress of other nations under the pretext of countering arms proliferation. It is not acceptable that the United Nations and the Security Council, whose decisions should represent all nations and governments, through applying democratic measures of decision-making, popular methods of decision-making, be dominated by a few governments who seek to serve their own interests, principally in a world where cultures, ideas, and public opinion should be the only determining factors. The continuation of the present situation is impossible, and fundamental changes seem to be unavoidable. We seek to establish a new system, a new world system. Second, any change must be structural, theoretical, and practical, involving all domains of life. Outdated mechanisms, which themselves were instrumental in and the root cause for present problems in human societies, can never be used to bring change and create our desired world. Liberalism and capitalism, especially of the nature that seeks to dominate the world and alienates human beings from heavenly and moral values, will never bring happiness for humanity, because they are the main source of all misfortune, wars, poverty, and deprivation. We have all seen that the inequitable economic structures controlled by certain political interest groups were used to plunder national wealth of countries simply for the benefit of a group of corrupt businesses. Present structures, therefore, are incapable of reforming the challenges before us. The political and economic structures created after World War II that were based on intentions to dominate the world, in brief, failed to promote justice and lasting security. Rulers whose hearts do not beat for the love of humankind and who sacrifice the spirit of justice in their minds never can offer the promise of peace and friendship to humanity. By the grace of God, Marxism is gone. It is now history, and the unhindered expansion of capitalism, too, will certainly have the same fate, because, based on the divine traditions referred to as a principle in the Holy Quran, the wrong is like the bubble on the surface of a water, and it will disappear. There remains only that which can be used forever towards the interests of human societies. We must therefore all remain vigilant to prevent the pursuit of colonialism and discriminatory and inhuman goals under the pretext of slogans for change or in any new format. The world needs to undergo fundamental changes, and all must engage collectively to make them happen in the right way. And through such efforts, no one and no government would consider itself an exception to change or superior to others and try to impose its will on others by proclaiming world leadership. Third, all problems that exist in our world today emanate from the fact that rulers have distanced themselves from human values, morality, and the teachings of divine messengers. Regrettably, in the current state of international relations, selfishness and insatiable greed have taken the place of such humanitarian concepts as love, sacrifice, dignity, and justice. The belief in the one God has been replaced with self-belief. Some have taken the place of God and insist to impose their values and wishes on others. Lies have taken the place of honesty. Hypocrisy has replaced integrity, and selfishness has taken the place of sacrifice. Deception in interactions is called foresight these days, and statesmanship. Looting the wealth of other nations is called development efforts. Occupation is introduced as a gift towards the promotion of freedom and democracy, and defenseless nations are subjected to repression in the name of defending human rights. Friends and colleagues, the resolution of global problems and the administration of justice and the maintenance of peace will only be materialized through collective determination and cooperation of all nations and states. The time to polarize the world on the premise of hegemony or domination of a few governments is over. Today, we must rise together through collective commitment against the present challenges. We must take change seriously and help others through collective work to return to basic moral and human values. Messengers were sent by God to show the light of the truth to mankind. They came to make people aware of their individual and social obligations. Piety, having faith in Allah and its judgment of human behavior in the next world, belief in the primacy of justice in both lives, seeking one's happiness, well-being, and security in the happiness, well-being, and security of others, respecting humankind, making efforts to expand love and compassion against hostility, were all on top of the teachings offered by the messengers of God, His divine messengers, from Adam to Noah, from Noah to Abraham, Moses, Jesus, Christ, and the last prophet, Muhammad. May peace be upon all of them. All of them came to eliminate war and ignorance, to eradicate poverty and uproot discrimination in order to spread happiness in the entire world. They are the best gifts that God Almighty has granted to human beings. If the belief in intizar, or in other words, awaiting patiently for justice to return to earth, will turn into a common goal, and we join hands to achieve prosperity for all, then there will be more real and increasing hope for reform. Fourth, in my opinion, we have several important agendas.